It's a Bec-sized coaster.
Yes. Oh my God, I can't get over how strong that smells.
Anyway, we're laughing because Bec's mum's dog, which I'm looking after because Bec can't look after her, has just peed up in this room, and it is the strongest. I think she's been eating asparagus.
It's so gross. So now we have to do
So this is why you don't look after her. This is why I have to look after your dog, or your mum's dog.
It's because I've got 2 cats, and they don't.
Hi guys, because Bec didn't do it.
Hi guys. And I've got 2 cats, and they don't like dogs. They're very territorial.
They're very territorial. They don't like anything, do they?
Yeah, they do. They like each other. They
What
like
about
me.
if another cat comes in?
Well, they like each other.
They like each other?
Yeah.
Oh.
But they just don't like dogs.
Oh.
We've tried to.
That's right. Jared ended up
getting his hand mauled by the dog. Not the dog, the cat.
cat.
Yeah. Oops. So, yes, we have a little guest star here today. Lulu.
A guest.
Yeah. She's very cute.
So what have you been doing this week?
I went to a really fun festival on Friday. Saw a bunch of bands and a bunch of friends, and it was a really fun day.
That was a Dugong festival, wasn't
Oh my God, yes, it was.
it? In-house.
And then I did nothing on Saturday because I was recovering from Friday. And then I had Jared's cousin's wedding yesterday, which was really nice and cute and casual. Yeah.
And yeah.
That's what I've been doing the last few days. And aside from that, not much really.
Not much.
Nothing else I can think of really.
Gee, you've got a fun life. As you're getting older, gee, you're starting to go downhill.
I know. I can't even think of what I want to cook and stuff. I don't know what's gotten into me.
Oh.
I've been so boring.
Boring.
Boring. The weather's been nice though. It's been fine. It's like we hit December and then all of a sudden it was warm in Melbourne for a
You're
change.
hitting our 30 degrees.
And now it's back to 15 degrees.
Yeah, it's Melbourne.
Classic Melbourne. If you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes and it'll change.
It definitely will.
Yes. So that's what I've been doing. What have you been doing? Aside from looking after my mum's dog.
Looking after your mum's dog. And then it peed on me like 3 times.
I'm sorry.
Well, every time it gets excited and it starts to pee, so you pick it up and it pees even more on you.
She's only a puppy, by the way. She's like not even a year old, so that's why she's
No,
still...
no, she's fine.
Yeah.
She's only peed in the house when she's been excited because she's walked in
She does that at mum's. Whenever I go around there, she gets all excited because she loves me.
Yeah. But yeah, just trying to catch up, trying to get up to, because we're going to be, well, I've got a fair bit to do over Christmas, so we've got to get all our recordings edited and things like that. And I had a schedule all set out, and for some reason I missed a couple, and I thought I'd actually caught up, and the dog's eating cardboard. It's all right.
Can it eat cardboard?
Well, it can. It's just going to most likely pee. It's going to smell like cardboard. So you've lost me.
Okay.
She's really destroying it.
Don't eat cardboard, please. You were trying to edit. You're trying to schedule.
Oh, yes, that's right. And then I get and look at, I'm thinking I'm catching up. I only got to really get another 2 done, and it's got me up to date. And I realise, oops, I haven't crossed these ones out. I'm actually 3 or 4 behind.
Oh, no.
And then there's one that I've been talking about that I'm not happy with. So I had to remove that spot. So basically, after working all weekend, I'm about the same as I was on Friday after the time I crossed them off. But no, it was actually good. There's a couple of the tutorials that I wanted to get done, which are the long consuming one, especially the lenses one, which still doesn't give an answer at the end. But it's like Mulholland Drive. There's a secret in there, but I can't find it. But no, there was actually, and there was, and then finding that bit of footage, I had the audio. Remember, I had the audio, and I could not find the video to match, and that was really important because that gave me a whole new inspire. So I was really happy to find that.
That's good.
Oh, I'm backing up.
10 terabyte.
It's 10 terabyte. So I've now just filled another 10 terabyte to free up space for another 2 months, and yeah. So that side of things is
fun
and,
times. You edited my one for me that I was happy to edit, but
oh yeah, for people on Inspire, we've got a Bec rant coming up.
yes,
So I'm not sure what week that'll be.
it'll come up soon.
It'll come up soon.
Yes, I ranted a bit too much and rambled on.
No, it was fine. You've got to get you to do more rants.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to be there
Maybe.
throwing some key cards at you.
Maybe. Well, yeah, because I kind of did that one on a bit of a whim, like.
And in between the rain.
Yeah.
It's really funny. She'd be talking away and all of a sudden you hear the rain come up and she'd stop and it just goes... and she'd start again. I can't believe you could start in the same spot you finished. I can never do that.
My memory might be better. I don't
Your
know.
memory might be better. But no, it was productive, but I felt like it was unproductive, but it was productive. I'm happy with all the ones I got, everything I got done. And I'm pretty excited about that LED light. I've just roughed that in, and that I was fun with. But I am really missing shooting.
You sick of
done one
editing?
shoot in 2 and a bit weeks, coming up to 2 weeks.
We've got
And
another
I'm really missing that.
Haven't we got 2 shoots on this week?
We've got 2 shoots on this week, so you can't call today a shoot.
No.
Yeah.
Even though you got to shoot me.
Oh, we should post some pictures of you. We've got some really pretty pictures of Bec doing the Macarena wearing wool.
Oh my gosh, no.
That could be the cover shot.
No, it can't be.
It can't be.
It doesn't need to be.
We're trying some new sounds, so yell at us if it's terrible.
No, they will.
They will. I know they will. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was fun today. But like you even said, like today is just easy, like even though it was just an easy.
Oh yeah, it's like a lot of, we're basically saying no to any new work.
Yeah.
But there's clients like this client I've been working with for more than 10 years. It's so easy. I can do it with my eyes closed. They're really nice
really
people
lovely,
to be around.
So easy to work with.
No hassle.
Yeah.
It's just, and we get paid for it, which is even better. Exactly. They're good payers, so and they never haggle on price. It's always
whatever it is, it's fine. So that was nice and easy.
That's where, if all clients could be like that, most people's business would be much more, the stress would be gone. But when I think of some of the clients I've had over the years and the stresses I would put on, which didn't need to be put on, they made things worse.
Yep.
Whereas they ended up getting a worse product because of what they were doing by not them understanding enough about photography. They employ an expert. Like, I don't go into a mechanic and stand next to them and make sure he does it the way I think it should be done.
And then ask him about the price at the end.
And then we want to haggle at the end. I don't get that.
I can, and especially for me because I do a lot of the correspondence before the shoot and stuff, I can normally tell when we're going to have a nightmare client or not because it's normally the amount of emails that are backwards and forwards to begin with. I find that if I've got the amount of emails that are back and forward before the job, I'm normally like, this is making me nervous. But the ones that it's just a few emails and then it's sorted and then I just see them confirm with them that they're still coming and then see them on the day, those ones are normally the easiest.
Well, Kathy sent an email, when you're available. I sent back the dates and then she just said this date, that's...
This time on these 2 dates.
Yeah, can we please have Bec doing the Macarena?
And that's fine. And then it's just a walk in the park. But yeah, when it's just constant backwards and forwards, I always know that's going to be a nightmare.
It always has been too.
Yes.
No, as far back as I remember, every... that wedding gown manufacturer that only turned up at Christmas time, so there's at least 10 emails back and forward. And all the emails they sent back and forward, there's nothing, they changed their mind by the day anyway and did something completely different. So it was just a waste of time.
Yeah. And that's it. It's a waste of time. It's time that could be spent doing something so much more productive than just going backwards and forwards
I can understand if it's a new client for the first time, and they're spending a lot of money. But that wedding designer, he'd already worked with me for 2 years.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he never complained about everything I gave. Well, he tried to get more. And I just sent him the email, hey, this was the deal, this many retouched images. And so that's one of the good things about doing it on email or having a phone call but then backing it up with an email.
Yeah,
things like that are really important with any business, even when you're not in business. It's the same as if you're working with models. And as much as you might have spoken to them over the phone, but it's really good to back up if there's any like hot points that was discussed that would be important. That like could be how many images you're going to supply them, or their comfort, whatever. It could be anything that's fairly important that
if they're paying you or if you're paying them, to get that in writing.
In writing, all of that type of stuff is really important, because it's really hard to argue when it's in writing, especially from the other party.
Exactly.
And the amount of times I've had, and it's always been the new clients. Oh, I thought it was less than that. Oh, bang, here's the email. Oh, I really thought it was less than that.
It's like, well,
sorry, there's our email, and you agreed, that's fine. Maybe it was somebody else you got a quote from. But it's things like that to me are really, really important. And whenever I haven't got like even the other day we were talking about something and it was like, oh yeah, I had a discussion on Skype over that. And I can't remember if we spoke about any of that. And it was lucky we just contacted and we hadn't even spoken about that side of things.
That was lucky.
We're only speaking about sort of the geography of what was going to happen, the demographics, not so much the pricing and the terms and conditions.
That's why I normally, like, if I know that you're having a phone call with someone about, like, anything really, I'll normally ask you straight away what you said, so I'll write that down somewhere, and then normally contact them and be like, just to confirm everything that you spoke with Peter about, blah, blah, blah.
Put an email,
Yes.
But it's funny how those little things make a big difference. And it doesn't just, it makes you look professional too.
100%.
Because they can't remember, so they're very unprofessional. Oh, I've got it in writing, I'm very professional. And they actually appreciate that. I think as much as they don't like the fact that I've got it in writing, they do appreciate that we do things professionally.
Yeah.
And I have to, the big ad agencies and things like that, they're going to rip you off every second they can.
Yeah, well, it's even happened to me. I've been...
Oh, yeah.
It's because I haven't...
You thought it was a full agreement and all of a sudden,
and it's not. So...
Yeah, but he has dementia, so...
Yeah, but...
And Alzheimer's.
Yeah, but...
And forgetful disease. And I don't want to pay for model disease.
But that's fine, and you live and learn with these types of things.
Yeah, that's why, and same with photography, I keep saying the only way to learn photography is go out and do it, because it's the mistakes you do which teach you something. And I know I made a mistake with our Fiji trip. I didn't take a variable ND filter for the baddest lenses, so I could film in full sun at 50 or 100 frames per second at 400 or 800 ISO, and I'm filming it like, even one stage I had to bring up my shutter speed to nearly 240 frames a second at...
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it was also at F16 or something, which I didn't... The footage is fine, and because there's a little bit of funkiness in the water, but I did a little bit of research. And it's only funkiness for people who actually know it. You wouldn't know it. Now, if anyone goes onto a YouTube and there's a couple of good YouTubes that show you what happens with different frame rates from 24 frames a second to 30, right up to shooting high frame rates, what happens to moving things, and things like water and tree leaves start to get crunchy.
I think you've mentioned this before because we've been shooting and you've told me don't go above like F11 or something. Because
no, it's to do, F stops one thing, shutter speeds are different.
I thought you were saying you were shooting up around F16.
Yeah, but I was also shooting 240 frames.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a different thing. That's about, it's like a ghosting as your digital cameras now, the higher the megapixels, it creates like a refraction into the sensor, which creates like a softening.
How weird.
So there used to be clubs called the F16 club. That was all on film. F16 today could be. No, I think it's it is. It's an online camera club, but it's it's so hard. People just want to learn, and unfortunately, schooling, things like TAFE and things like that, and things like camera clubs, they just soul burners. They take all your own why you love photography out and make you shoot freaking pelicans.
And piers.
And piers.
With all the smooth water.
Smooth water. And there needs to, I don't know how to do it. So when you go, so I was in a fishing club for a long time, and we would take new members and teach them, literally teach them. We taught them how to cast better, how to tie flies. We taught them streamcraft, all of that stuff, so they can go out and do however they want to do it. We don't tell them this is the fly you use and this is how you should fish it, because there's a couple of guys I know that use dry flies wet. So dry fly is supposed to sit on top of the water. They'd pull it under the water and strip it back like a fish. Right. And they used to catch lots of fish. So there is no right or wrong. But unfortunately, when you start going, I think it's only photography. I think that's got to be the worst.
Yeah.
I think it's the only one you join a club and the president or the head judge is like the worst photographer in the club. And they can always do better, but they never put their own pictures in for judging. It's like internet people. I do feel sorry, and I know I've spoken about this before, and it's nearly like somebody asked me the other day, he said, so what are your settings for in studio? And I said, well, and I say every single workshop, I pretty much have found the settings I like to work to, and my real settings that I used to do were 320th of a second because the Hasselblad synced at all speeds. But running workshops and that, nobody else could do that. So I came down to 160th of a second for them, and now I just leave it for mine anyway, because I don't need the 320th only a bit for ambient light. I don't have trouble with ambient light. And if I do, I can always push that up. F8 is because I found that F8 on a medium format's like about 5.6 on a 35mm. And to me, that's a really, really good depth of field. Like you get enough for a bit of movement, but it's also giving a bit of fall off.
100 ISO.
And the ISO is 100 with flash.
Yes.
And if I only had low-powered flashes, I'd go to maybe 400 ISO, but hopefully it wouldn't be a daylight studio like my studio, because I'd have trouble. But if I changed one of those figures, it would not make any difference to the photo. So as F9, 125th of a second at 200 ISO, the photo would look the same.
Yeah.
And he finished it off was, how far away was the model from you? What difference does that make? Like the distance I'm away, well, on that particular shoot, I got up and walked and moved around. Well, there wasn't a set distance. And if I had a 80mm lens or a 100mm lens on or a 50mm lens on,
it's going to change the difference.
It's going to change.
The distance
I'm the distance away depending on the lens I'm using to the crop I want to get.
Exactly. But there's the thing as well as you don't. I guess we get asked a lot on workshops as well. Actually, I think we got asked one time after a workshop for someone wanted to know if we would be giving out like a sheet with diagrams with all the measurements of the lighting setups that we did, and that's just so not how you work. You don't do it by numbers. It's every face is different, every crop's different. So you're going to show them how you set it up and how you tweak it and how you adjust it, but it's not a set rule. I still love that thing we did. It's on the YouTube with Anna, and we were doing clamshell, and you being a smart Alec went and grabbed the measuring tape and started measuring everything. Like, and this is the distance between them. But then people took it seriously. They were like, oh, really? Like, oh, thank you so much for doing the measurements. It's like, oh my God, that was a joke.
Look, and I've said this before, it's hard. When I'm going, I'd see, say, a picture of Peter Limber or a Helmut Newton or an Irving Pan or an Albert Watson, I look at it and go, oh, I wonder what lens I used. It doesn't. And after I've done these couple of lens things recently, the one I haven't put the one in Spy yet, but the one at the beach and the one just recently, it was amazing when I flicked through and gone, seriously, in this location, I could have used any of those lenses. If the model's expression was crap, it was going to be a crap picture.
Yeah.
The model's expression was amazing, it was going to be an amazing picture. And even the one we did up in Olinda, it was the same thing. It really had no difference to the actual real picture. It only had difference to photographers that want to look at, oh, look at the bokeh or look at this. But that's not what the photography isn't about. Look at technicals. The photography is, it's like art.
Yeah.
It's the story you're telling. It doesn't matter if you've got an aggressive bokeh or a fine bokeh, if as long as it suits what you're trying to do.
Well, when you were going through those photos and you were asking me, saying, you're like, oh, I'm curious to know which one you like better, and you're flicking through them, and I was like, they look the same. Like, I don't know the. And then when you pointed out, like, oh, we'll see, with this lens, the bokeh's a bit softer. With this one, see, it's sharper. I was like, that makes no difference to me.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. And the people who are going to buy your work, they don't care.
Exactly.
Right. So, but for me, myself, I might want to tell the story a little bit further than what people are going to accept. Like, I might want a busy background, or might want a soft background, or like the Knock Deluxe, I want soft directly behind it, and it get busy on the outside edge. That's only to keep me happy.
Yeah, exactly. It's a use.
The people that are, the other people that are looking at it really don't give a rat's.
No, I care about how I'm looking.
Well, and then doing the retouching. So I've done the editing of about 3 or 4 of the Fiji videos, and I predominantly only used a 90 on the RAW one because it's a sharper lens than the 75. The 75 I watched on I can't remember his name. Anyone in Leica, I'll get Bec to put up a link to him because I can't remember his name. He's a really, really weird, awkward guy. He does beautiful photography. He shoots mainly with Leica, and he shoots film and digital. His photos are beautiful. And
where would they find
it'll be on YouTube. So I'll give a link to his YouTube page.
I'm just writing it down so I don't forget.
And he's really good if you are on Leica, even if you're not on Leica. If you jump in and have a look at a couple of his, when he's talking about different lenses, you see the pictures, you go, oh wow.
Oh wow.
Oh well, yeah, shut up. But yeah, he's only got a small following. He's like maybe 30 or 40, maybe 50,000. He travels to Poland and that's the most beautiful women in the world. And he's a real dork. But even though he sort of comes across a bit camera clubby, he's not. He's all about, no, he did a thing on soft lenses. His 10 favourite soft lenses. Lenses that aren't razor sharp. And one of them is a Canon that I said not carrying in my bag anymore because it's a little bit too soft.
Yeah.
But things like that, I think it's better for a photographer to understand their art, that what they're trying to create, than worry about what somebody else used. Because is that picture better because he used that lens? Like, he might have had a 24-70 or 70-200. Because if he was full at 70 on both lenses, what difference?
Yeah, I mean, like, I can understand asking what lens they use, like, just out of curiosity, but, like, aside from curiosity, it doesn't make much of a difference. Well, I don't think, maybe. I just think maybe it's a curiosity thing. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. I'm not a photographer.
I think it's more, I think we want more information. We want to pixel peak more. We want that. But at the end of the day, that's not what made the image. The image was, the photographer said something, the model's expression was this, he clicked.
Yeah, that's what.
And that's the important thing.
Yes, I agree.
And I think I have the film bug real bad now.
The film bug?
Well, I just scanned that stuff I had developed the other day.
Oh yeah, me with my grumpy face.
Oh, there's another picture of Rara. And even your grumpy face, I really, really like that. I know you're not going to, but you know, my love for Kate Moss and the stuff that was in the 90s, it was all on film. Some of my favourite, all of supermodels were shot on film.
The film looked cool, I just looked really grumpy.
That's normal. It mustn't have been a Friday. I can't remember what. Anyway, so once we get back after Christmas, Bec's going to learn how to do developing. We might even film us, me teaching you how to develop.
Okay. That'd be funny.
Might go for 5 hours.
Me trying to do numbers.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
I hate numbers.
I'll give you 3 calculators and a phone and a computer. How's that?
Oh my gosh, all right.
But you can just ask Siri anyway, and they can answer the question.
True.
True. Do you ever use that?
No.
Oh. The easiest thing in the world for you to do.
Yeah, I know. I should, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't use Siri as much as I should. I know other people do.
But isn't that why you got the HomePods?
Yeah, never use it.
And why did you?
Although I'll be just editing sometime, and then she'll come on and say, "Oh, this is what you want to listen to."
I get so freaked out when that happens.
But see, people say your phone's not listening to you, and I don't know where I was. It was just recently, and they go, they do. So I said, all right, I'm going to say something I would never, ever, ever buy in front of my phone and in front of your phones. And I want you to text me once none of us got anything.
Yeah,
but if you search something, bang, you'll get it. Every ad will be about it.
I don't know, because like I don't think it just works like if you just start saying something into your phone. But like sometimes I will say something and then I get an ad for it and I haven't searched for it.
Yeah, it's like there's aliens out there. I've seen one once.
But like it has happened to me before.
It has happened.
But I don't think if you just sit there and repeat a word in it, it's going to... I mean, I don't know. But it has happened to me before. But, you know, I also think that's a really stupid thing that after you search for it, then they start advertising, because it's like, well, I've searched for it and I've more than likely bought it. So why are you advertising whenever
Even better, once you've bought it.
Yeah, they keep... And I'm like...
Sorry, you missed the boat.
Yeah, I've already bought this.
You should have read my mind and advertised me these other products.
So stupid. I get that all the time. It's like, I'll buy something and then all of a sudden I get ads for it. And I'm like, thank you for advertising the thing that I'm waiting for to arrive. Like, it's just dumb. They should really fix their algorithm.
The rhythm, Olga.
No.
Yeah, but I do get it, and I think, though, the phone knows when you're purposely doing it and doesn't do it.
Might do.
So there might be
smart.
the robots.
They do call them smartphones.
Oh, the AI is incredibly. AI is getting too smart. Just with different things like the AI that's on YouTube, it basically knows what brand runners you're wearing. It knows. So that's why YouTube says don't bother tagging.
Right.
We know everything that's happening in there. Our robots have read all of that, and we're suggesting this to people that are interested in that stuff.
I want to do that AI thing that I've seen a few people doing on Instagram.
Yeah, I know. The Shay one. See, I thought there's a whole heap of different people's artwork they did with her.
No, that's a bunch of AI thing. My best mate's done one, and then a guy I went to high school has done it as well. So I've downloaded the app.
You saw the Shay ones, didn't you?
Yeah.
They're really pretty.
I know. The ones that my friends have posted as well are also really cool. So I downloaded the app. So I'm going to do it.
I know you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Because your skin's going to go like silk. You're going to end up with great big eyes. Yeah. It's going to make your face round, though. Any money, it rounds your face.
I hope it doesn't.
You're going to end up like a, what's the name? Oh, I've forgotten the movie. In fact, I always thought you were in that movie. Shay's out of that movie too.
Very, very vague. I don't know.
A very vague movie. It's a movie I absolutely loved. I watched it like 7 or 8 times. It's the one where she gets put into a mental asylum and she's dreaming. She's
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch. So you remind me of Sucker Punch from that movie. And so did Shay. You were both that was a great...
Here we go talking about movies again.
So Sucker Punch, it's... I don't know. It's a little bit like movies. Certain movies that, to me, have a big effect, and I have to watch them 2 or 3 times. And every time I watch, I could see deeper into the story, and it just. I really enjoy watching it again because I think there's another. It's like Pulp Fiction. Every time there'll be something like, oh, I never noticed that. Like the Kill Bill references are in Pulp Fiction.
Really?
Oh, yes, because Uma Thurman and Tarantino
were writing it while they were filming it. Well, on Saturday night, Jared went to the Netty to play games with the boys. So it's the internet cafe in Box Hill. They went to the shops and then went to the park in Box Hill. They used a little barbecue and had a barbecue. And they go and they play video games. They're such nerds. I love them. It's so adorable. Anyway.
We're talking about someone who's over 6 foot tall. Like a massive Labrador.
Nearly like a full sleeve.
That sleeve actually looked good.
It looked really cool. He looks very manly, but he's just a giant nerd.
Is he still sleeping on the other side of the bed?
Yes, he's still sleeping on my side of the bed.
Oh, so he's actually made up his mind. I like this side better.
No, he said it's only for a few more days, then I get my side back. Well, I don't like sleeping on his side because the internet doesn't work properly on his side.
You're supposed to be sleeping, not Tindering?
I'm not. No, when I'm going to sleep and I lie on Reddit and I like scroll through things and I mindlessly read things and then I fall asleep. Anyways, moral of the story is I was home alone and I was like, what am I going to watch? Like,
that's another movie. You didn't list it.
Home Alone.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
No way. Oh, come on. There's a binge. You need a binge, at least 1 and 2.
I don't know.
You'd actually have a laugh. It's actually stupid. You like Stranger Things and you're liking Wednesday. They're kids that do impossible things. You'll like this movie. It's right up your alley.
Well, I was like, what am I going to watch? Because Jared, I was like, this is my time that I can watch things that like he's not going to want to watch. So I had like nostalgic times and I watched the Lizzie McGuire movie because I haven't watched it in like, I haven't seen that in ages and it was like my favourite movie when I was like 10 years old. So I rewatched it and the nostalgic feeling that came back and I watched The Princess Diaries because same thing.
Oh no. Well, it's like, what's her name? Zellwinger's in them. The whole series.
Bridget Jones's Diary.
Yeah, the one where she gets pregnant.
I haven't seen any of them.
Doesn't know who's the father. I don't know how many times Shree's watched it. Every time it comes on, she watches it again.
Well, I used to watch those movies all the time when I was a kid, but I haven't watched them in so long. And like, it was just such like a good feeling. Like, it was just really feel good. Like, I was just like, I remember being a kid.
Yeah, that's what I do with Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. But you see, I could watch that with Jared, and I was like, I don't think Jared's going to be like thrilled to sit down and watch The Princess Diaries.
No, it's like you watching My Little Pony in business class with a champagne.
I love My Little Pony. But I don't know, like, I do like revisiting old things like that. It's like even just the satisfaction of like scrolling through old photos. Like sometimes I'll just like scroll for ages during my phone. I'm like, I won't be looking and I'll just scroll, and then I'll just stop. And then just look through my photos and be like, I remember that time of my life. And it's such a good, I don't know, I like having little trips down memory lane like that.
Oh, I love doing that.
It's so much
just
fun.
Looking at my own photos from all the shoots.
Yeah.
I love going back 10 or 12 years and then come back through it. And there's so many memories with different, and you know, the amount of models that I only did it for a short time.
But then you remember the time that you did spend with them and then you're kind of like, I wonder what they're doing now. But when
if you hadn't been my assistant, there'd still be 2 photos I'd still go back to, forever. Yeah. So it's the one where Lizzie did your hair on that, and then my training one with you. Those 2 photos, both of them, they just got, every time I see them, I stop. I can't help it. And there's certain ones with Zoe and different people like that. And as much as I get really jealous about musos who have the ability to, you hear a song and someone proposes to you, or the music becomes so powerful in your life. Every time you hear that song, Echo Beach is one of the ones that, it's an Australian band. We won't even put a link. But it's old, it's Australian. But the Echo Beach is one. Every time I hear it, it reminds me of a party I went to. Yeah. Because these 2 girls, and one of them had a shaved hair wearing overalls, and the other girl was super pretty, and they were so yin and yang, and they were so into that song. They both knew the words inside and out, and they were doing sort of like a little bit of the B-52 sort of dance and that sort of stuff. And every time I hear the song, all I do is, not the B-52s, Uma Thurman in Pulp Fiction. And it's like that one song has so much power over me. And I know there's images I see, but they don't seem to have the same power, except if they're my images. Because my images have a story. If I look at my favourite Peter Lindbergh or Helmut Newton photo, I just go, oh, I freaking love this photo. But there's no
No
story.
story, you just love the photo.
Whereas a picture I've taken,
you remember the whole...
and some of my favourite photos will be, most people go, really? But
you know the story behind it.
like the Natasha one that I did when I need to make her insecure for that client.
Yes.
And Natasha was the most non-insecure person in front of a camera ever. But I found a way of doing it. So that photo sticks with me. In the Adelaide shoot we did that you know about when she went crazy, I stuck her out in the balcony.
Oh, yep.
That one again, that has so much meaning for both of us. Like Natasha still says that's her favourite shoot ever. Because there's something... There's a story behind what happened in the like the way we were shooting the photos we got out of it.
Yeah, I know what you mean about music. Music does really have such like a power like that. Like
As soon as you hear strobe.
Yeah, well, I always think of Jared when I see it, and whenever time,
Right. So
and whenever time I hear Clarity by Zed, it always reminds me of like around 2013 time with Casey when me and her were going clubbing like every single week and going out to Wawa and stuff. That song always reminds me of...
Wawa, oh my God.
That song always reminds me of that time in my life going out every week with Casey. Like, so yeah, like I know what you mean. Like music does have a really like...
Timestamps.
Yeah.
There's always a memory. Like
like
Midnight Express, is it Midnight Express, I think it's the name of the movie.
Midnight Express. Oh.
Yeah, it's about a guy who went to Turkey or something like that, smuggled drugs and ended up in jail.
Yeah, I've actually seen that movie.
That's the second book I've ever read. And it was a diary. So I've only ever read 2 diaries. Go Ask Ellis, which was a Catholic one that was made up. It wasn't a real story. But there was the song for it. The first time Sheree and I ever went to a club, that played on the dance floor. And it wasn't heavy metal and I actually danced with Sheree to it. But I still love that song. I haven't listened to it and you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know. Oh, no.
I know the movie though. I'm like that with smells as well. Certain smells remind me of certain times.
Oh yeah, farts always remind me of toilets. There is a smell. Oh, I'll let you finish.
I was just like, because I tend to go through phases of wearing perfumes. So certain perfumes will remind me of a certain phase of my life. And
so Britney Spears and...
Yeah, Britney Spears. What was...
I knew it.
Fantasy. I think it's the pink bottle with the little green gems on it. That'll always remind me of being like a teenager. And then like when I think back in my flick days when I was an emo, I always used to wear Misty or Cherie. And they discontinued it. And they do still make Miss Dior, but it's not the same one. Yeah. And you can buy an original bottle for $400 on eBay. And do you know how tempted I am?
But I'd be off, wouldn't it?
I don't know, but I'm tempted.
Yeah, so I'm so tempted to buy Brut or Old Spice. Or,
you can still buy Old Spice.
I'm joking. Oh. They're the things my dad used to friggin' put on.
I remember
I couldn't think of anything worse than putting Old Spice on or Brut. Like, all I can think of, I can't even think of it, Smokey and the Bandit, whoever the actor was. I always think of his name when I hear it, because he used to do the Brut ad.
Now, certain smells just remind me of certain, but it's even like that Tom Ford one that you have, I'd never smelt that before we went to Europe for my first work trip to Europe. So now that smell always reminds me of that for some reason. Yeah, even though you wear it all the time, it always reminds me of that.
I don't wear it all the time.
Oh.
I tend to only wear it if I'm going out.
But
it's my favourite.
It's so nice.
Man cologne.
That reminds me of the first trip that we went on to Europe. It's weird how you associate things like that.
No, 100%. It's like if I ever smell Chanel, number 5, Poison, and there's one other one. I always think of Cherie because they're her favourites.
So interesting.
There's another one, Opium, which I don't think you can buy Opium anymore. So I'm talking about opium, the perfume.
not legally.
But yeah, there is certain things. There was a smell, a breezeway. Now, how do I explain? Do you know what a breezeway is in the school? No. This is going to be really hard because it's a 70s thing. So in most schools in Australia, you'd have your main school and then it used to be an undercover like concrete area, then the toilets would be just at the end. So you'd have a long corridor down the school.
But it's like kind of outside, but it's
sort of
got a
outside,
cover.
but it's still covered, but there's a breezeway.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And there's a certain time in the year there'd be a smell in that breezeway, not a bad smell. And And if I ever smell it, I always think of my primary school days. There's just something, and I don't know what it is. There's a certain smell I get at a certain time of year.
Interesting.
But then there's another smell that just gives, well, it gave me migraines really bad when I was young. Now I don't get migraines. I think my brain said, migraine's coming on, let's kill the pain. Well, that's that blurry eye things I get. I've been told when I get my fuzzy eye for 3 or 4 minutes where some blurry things in my eye, that's a migraine coming on. But I can feel that my head's like heavy, but I don't actually get the pain.
How weird.
That's cool.
It's cool.
No, I was speaking to Dr. Peter, a mate in Brisbane, and he said, no, you're getting a full-on migraine, but your brain's blocked the pain of it. You just got the other side.
Right.
But there's this thing called a stink bean, and you'd crush it up and put it in an old matches box, and you'd light it and throw it in a room, and that would give me a headache. And there was a thing in the day, you just throw it in, and it would just stink the whole room out. There wasn't much smoke. The smell was just horrendous.
How wild. Interesting.
Interesting.
Very interesting.
Sorry if you can hear some dead cat whining in the background. It's actually the guy next door machining. I think he's machining cats or dogs. So he's putting them through some... Where's your little nut?
She's right next to my feet. She's sleeping.
She stopped eating and peeing.
Yes, she's sleeping on the floor. Sorry, I put my face...
It's good to see that it's Lulu peed.
No, she's just having a little nap on the floor. She's very
Snaps.
cute. Yes.
Yes.
I got distracted by the dog. Sorry, I look at her and
That just killed it, didn't it?
I turned to Marsh, I look at her and I'm just like, oh, you're so cute. She's very cute.
It's very cute.
And it doesn't smell like pee anymore, speaking of smells. We're desensitized.
It's a dog fart.
She didn't fart. Oh my goodness.
And sorry for the people that come here to listen to us talk about photography talk. We
never said it was going to be that. This is just like after work Friday
What?
drinks with us.
Yeah, we don't. I don't like talking about people that don't like things. But just so everyone knows, the podcast was more as something when you're driving a car, when you're going for a jog, vacuuming the house.
Yeah.
It's not something. If we spoke technicals, where are you going to write it down?
And also, how boring would that be?
And that would be so boring.
Like, that's what our tutorials and stuff are for, is for
our
learning.
Boring tutorials. Well, it is a bit. So Inspire is more aimed at a teaching site.
100%.
So we don't have as much, although the last couple of videos got your stupid carry-ons.
Me?
Doing peekaboos through through palm fronds and things. But
I can't help it. I'm a comedic genius.
So you say.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's more teaching or opening your mind up things. And then YouTube is more just fluffy around the outside, and clever people will be able to go, oh, Peter used that. Oh, Peter did this. Right? And then this is supposed to be just lighthearted, listening to two complete train wrecks talk crap.
Talk about some important things and also talk a bunch of crap. You know.
We haven't spoken about anything important, have we?
Well, sometimes we do.
Oh, that's right. What do we talk about?
We spoke about like business and stuff before, and like, you know, sending emails and writing stuff down.
I suppose that could be important.
So
if you're running a business.
Every now and then we put in little nuggets of information.
Nuggets.
Some
chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets that you had for lunch.
They weren't chicken, that's why I used that barbecue sauce.
What were
It had
they?
well, I don't know, but it has the texture of chicken nuggets, but the flavour of barbecue. It's the best way to eat them. I couldn't eat them any other way.
It was chicken nuggets with barbecue sauce.
Yeah, but you can't taste the chicken once you dip it in that barbecue sauce.
Okay.
What's barbecue sauce called?
A Sweet Baby Ray's.
Yeah.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Sweet Baby Ray's.
Ooh, best barbecue sauce.
It must, yeah. I'm got lots of barbecue sauces and lots of sauces. Killer Hogs is not a bad one as well, but Sweet Baby Ray's is, yeah. I wouldn't put it on good food. I'd put it on crap food. So any food that's just not quite right, put a great blob of that inside. It's like dipping in tomato sauce and then salt and mayonnaise. It doesn't taste like any of them, but it's got all the other flavours that are going to kill the shitty flavour of why you're actually putting in sauce.
My sister got me onto it, and then I bought some for the studio. And when I was on was I doing? I wasn't here for a few days when you were here. Anyway, you said something about...
I bought those stupid potato cake chickens. So I don't know, does America or Europe have potato cakes?
No, I think they're Australian.
It's Australian. So it's sort of like this disc of potato that's battered and deep fried. Well, this was like, they call them...
Chicken potato cake.
Chicken potato cakes.
So it was essentially a nugget shaped like a disc. It wasn't...
Yeah, I know the size, which didn't taste like chicken whatsoever. It tasted...
bad.
The textures was nice, but the flavour was just nothing.
It was not good. Anyway, Peter said he was...
I just looked at all the sauces in the cupboard and I had sweet chilli, I had hot sauce, I had the barbecue, I had soy and mayo, and I dipped it in each of them until I found the one that actually made it edible.
And he's like, oh, it's really good with this. He's like, where did this sauce come from? I'm like, that would be me. He's like, where do I get this? I'm like, just from Woolies. It is the best sauce ever. I love Sweet Baby Ways. Oh.
Too good for Woolies. It's also made in China.
No, it's not. It's American.
Oh, is it?
Yes. I think. I hope. Oh, I probably get told if I'm not. I'm pretty sure it's American.
Well, that and the Coney Island mustard.
Well, that stuff's good.
Both of those two were still the texture lended better to barbecue than mustard.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
So what are you excited for this week?
This week?
Yes.
I get to shoot. Although, I must admit, we did something last week that I really enjoyed. I had a really fun shoot with Bec, which I did really enjoy that shoot and got some amazing photos out of that.
Was that with the lights?
Yeah, the lights. There were some absolutely beautiful photos in that. But yeah, I'm just craving on shooting, but unfortunately, we're shooting content. So although I might push Rara to give me an hour at the end, and I'll just shoot it with film.
Yeah, cool.
Shoot my stuff with the Kate Moss, the 90s Mario-y type stuff with her at the end. I'll show her 2 pictures I've scanned. I know she's just going to... She'll love.
Cool.
So, and there'll be a bit of a buzz, and Shelby will most likely do our first videoing with her.
Yeah, cool.
So what have I done? 2 or 3 shoots with her?
3.
3. So one of the problems with, there's lots of models that are pretty girl next door. Very pretty, and that's it. Yes. And there's a model in Milan who's absolutely drop dead gorgeous, but you lift a camera and it's exactly what, there's nothing there. It's just...
She's so pretty.
She's so pretty, sweet. But it's like taking a photo of a painting. It doesn't change. It's just, and you've got, no, I can see this with my eyes, I want something better. And I did get one picture the first time I shot her that I absolutely adored because she had this womanly feel, which wasn't so...
I find a lot of models get like that, though, when they've been modelling for a bit too long, is they tend to just have a model face. And they're like, this face
is the only face I can do.
Because I know it looks good and this is my go-to, and I feel like they just do that. I think it's maybe econ models, maybe a bit more than just, when I say modelling too long.
I think also selfie too much.
Yeah.
You have your selfie look, which is your selfie look. But I don't know, I've been analysing, which is really dangerous, but I have been analysing and I have noticed I have drifted a little bit away from my original love. Of? Strong, powerful woman. Some of them got a little bit too pretty, a little bit too soft, a little bit too nice. In that picture you said angry back, I'm going, I freaking love this face.
That was so grumpy.
This is, no, it's not grumpy to me. It's attitude.
Tude.
It's the tude. All the tudes.
I got a lot of tude, don't worry about that.
Yeah, I know, but
I don't know where that came from.
Even today, looking for the thumbnail for the Rah Rah one that went up on YouTube this week, the ones you picked, pretty face. And I went back to something, I actually want to go back to my woman strong, a little bit like, I'm screwing with you, I'm messing with your brain, I'm strong.
I like it when that happens, like when you asked me to help you pick and I pick and then it helps you in the way that you don't actually use anything that I picked because... No, I like it because it means
you've reinforced.
Exactly. It's like, I remember the other day you were tossing up between, again, it was 2 Rah Rah photos and you were like, I like this one and she really likes this one. And I like the one that she picked too, but I can't pick. And you were like asking me and I was like, I like both of them. And I was like, this one is like giving me like hot, sexy bitch on the beach. This one's giving me like strong, powerful. Like, and you were like,
and that was the one I went with.
Thank you. That is.
Yes.
Thank you for saying that.
And yeah, I am seeing it more and more now that I still go back. And if I look at some of my favourite pictures I've ever taken, they're mainly strong, powerful eyes. Like my really favourites, there's something in there like an FU that I really, really enjoy. And I saw some really cool photos of Adriana Lima that I'd never seen before. They're not going to be iconic. I didn't even save them. But there was something in her eyes, and it was that end of catwalk look. It's just that the rest of the photo was nothing to me, but that look was, that's my favourite look. There's that power of a woman that I don't care who you are, the power of me is better than you.
It came up on TikTok the other day, and it was a clip from Victoria's Secret show. I can't remember which year it was, and Fall Out Boy were playing, and then Taylor Swift came out and sang with them. And
Taylor Swift and Victoria's Secret, come on.
What? She always sung at that. Her and Carly
No,
were like
only
besties.
two.
No, she sang in a heap of them.
Yeah, but she's known so much. She would never even wear lingerie. She'd wear flanny pajamas.
It doesn't matter.
Well, she shouldn't be singing in a lingerie show. And then when someone...
She can do what she wants. Don't hate on Taylor. Don't hate on Tay-Tay.
An Australian model actually questioned why would you have Taylor Swift, and she was dumped.
Yeah, exactly. I would dump. Like, that's rude. Tay-Tay can do what she wants.
I can understand,
Well, why
Pink,
would they have Fall
Madonna.
Out? Pink. Oh my God, get real.
She did do 1 year, I think.
I don't like Pink.
Oh, I don't like her.
But I don't like
Well,
her.
it was when she was sort of cool, not when she'd had 600,000 songs and done 400 concerts at the MCG in 1 year. I think she was on stage every Sunday night for a year in Melbourne.
Oh, probably.
They were all sellouts too. I don't know where it was, but she literally had the record in Australia.
It wasn't a year. It was a lot of shows. Though.
It was a lot of shows. It was like 12, 13 or something. And then she did the whole of Australia, came back and did another 3 shows. It was like Elton John's retiring shows. Like he's been retiring for 40 years.
Isn't it Cher's farewell tour that she keeps doing?
I didn't know she was doing that.
I thought that was a running joke. Oh. Anyway, I watched it and Fall Out Boy was singing as well, and I was just like, oh, my last. I showed Jared, and Jared's just like, they do not really care about this. He's probably just like, hot chicks in lingerie. And I'm like, oh my God, it's Candace, it's Adriana, it's Elsa, it's Alessandra, it's all of them. And he's just like, cool.
I've got back onto Tumblr, even though they're stupid. So if you put up a picture that's adult content, you're supposed to click this box, but that box doesn't exist. Yeah. We cannot find this box to click.
And we've messaged them.
And messaged them, they didn't answer us.
No.
So, but now if I put it up, they hide it. When you appeal it, they go, oh, we'll move it to adult content and unhide it. Why don't give a button that I can actually click?
Just give me the button.
Anyway, but I have enjoyed getting back on there. I've dumped, there's quite a few people I used to follow that aren't there anymore, which were some of my favourite people I followed because it's more that high-end, edgy fashion stuff in the magazines that are they're sort of numero ID. Some of these more obscure magazines, that, especially in Australia, we don't see. And I found at least 20 blogs on there that I'm following and so enjoying. I'm hardly clicking on anything to save into my thing, but I'm just enjoying
looking at it.
I don't know what's next going to come up in the feed. That's whereas Instagram and Facebook and even Twitter, I thought I'd picked a certain thing and it's still getting filled up with ads. But as you said, Twitter's changed. I can't see any difference, but Bec reckons it's changed.
No, I didn't.
Didn't you say everyone's saying Twitter's dead?
I don't use Twitter.
Weren't you on Twitter before?
I sometimes log in just to check yours and stuff, but I don't have my own account.
So you're like your sister.
What?
She doesn't have Disney, she uses your account. Or she's like my kids.
No, my sister pays for Disney now because it wasn't fair because she wasn't paying for something.
Why'd you cut her?
No, she agreed because she kept offering me to pay. She kept offering me. She's like, oh, well, I'll give you my subscription to this. And I said, I've already got that one. And she's like, well,
you should have swapped. You should have cancelled that one and taken your sister's one.
No,
But then you'd be under the...
No, because now she just pays for Disney. So she...
Well, it's like
mum
my
pays
daughter
for the
and my
binge.
son that just... What are you subscribed to? Great, family.
Yeah. Whereas, like, I pay for the Stan, Jared pays for our Netflix, Mum pays for the binge, and my sister pays for Disney.
Right, so I had Stan, I cancelled it, but Beck while we're travelling, wanted to watch her show, so she re-signed me up to Stan.
You never told me you cancelled it. If I had have known that, I wouldn't.
That's why it wasn't there. Oh, we'll just use Peter's card and rejoin up.
No, because it didn't say, it said that you were logged out, so I just logged in and I didn't know.
Well, it's cancelled.
Well, I can't read minds, okay?
But I hate it, I cancelled, then there's this thing that came up, but I thought, no, I wouldn't watch anyway.
No.
Anyways,
have a good week and week.
Have a good week. It's a Friday.
No, it's have a good weekend and week.
Weekend. The weekend.
We will see you next week.
Maybe.
Bye, guys.
Bye.